Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Knowledge of Friends. Subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon for the latest update. आज हम डेटा वेयर हाउसिंग एंड डेटा माइनिंग की क्लास करने वाले हैं, जो कि अगर हम क्लास की बात करते हैं तो ये आपका क्लास सेकेंड है. ऑलरेडी हम फर्स्ट क्लास कर चुके हैं एंड दैट इज द रेफरेंस टुवर्ड्स इट. इफ आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट, we had done the first class where we had completed unit 1. We had started with unit 1, that is your data warehousing. In that same case, if I'm talking about, this is the second class. It's a huge request from my side to all the viewers. Please go through with the subscribe button and please like, share and subscribe our channel so that many and maximum people can get the information at once, and even though you can also enjoy the video as well. And for that sake, we're gonna start continuing with that. And the last topic which we had discussed about difference between OLAP and OLTP, and it's a huge request because we are doing the simultaneous that data warehousing, that is principle of programming languages as well as artificial intelligence and computer graphics as well. And that is, we'll go ahead with the continue in that same cases if I'm talking about here. So that is multi-dimensional data model, that what we have to start with. Multi-dimensional data model. So here in this multi-dimensional data model, where we'll discuss in the detail in the next coming class. So we will consider the data of the shop for items sold per quarter in the city of Delhi, and the data that has been shown here. And this is a 2D representation of the sale for the data that are shown with respect to the time dimension, that is organized in the quarters, and the item that dimensional, that is organized according to the types of the item dimensional and organized according to the types of the items sold. So the fact or the measure displayed in the rupees sold in thousand, that what we'll discuss here and what will represent as well. So in the same case, while going ahead, we'll be going ahead with the diagram, the table here. Now if we want to view the sale data with the third dimension, for example, suppose the data according to the time and item as well as location is viewed for the cities Chennai, Kolkata and Mumbai and Delhi. So these 3D datas are shown. So the 3D datas of the table that we'll discuss and will draw as well, that has been represented as a series of 2D tables. Conceptually, it may be also represented by the same data in the form of 3D data cube, and that is, look, first we'll draw a table here that has been given as well. So that is your, this is table for the location, that is equals to Delhi, and this is the time quarter, and here these were the item which is type, and which is egg, milk, bread and biscuit. Okay, for this the time quarter, this is for the Q1, Q2, Q3, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3 and quarter 4 as well. So for that we'll be representing here, that is for egg here, and the data is asked to be given that for egg is your, for quarter 1 260, milk for quarter 1 508, and bread is 15 and biscuit is 60 as well. For quarter 2 the egg is 390, 256, 20 and 90. And for quarter 3 this is 436, 396 and this is 50. And for this is your 40 as well. And where the quarter 4 is your 528, and that is 483, and this is 35 and this is 50 here as well. So this is a table that has been represented here, and that is So with this, that has been the data table that we had gone through the cities, that is your Delhi here. And in the same case, if I'm going for the location Chennai, the items and the quantity has been increased is like 340, 360, 20, 10. So that has been increasing. That is the just if I'm talking about for the location Chennai, so the egg is 340 for Q1, and milk is 360, bread is 20, biscuit is 10, and for Q1 itself for the position Chennai. For the Q2 here, that is we have an egg that is 490, milk is 490, bread is 16, biscuit is 50 for Chennai location, and for Q3, that is your 680 for egg and 553 for milk and 65 for bread and 43 for biscuits as well. And Q4, that is your 535 for egg, 694 for milk and 39 for bread and a biscuit for 38. So that is for location Chennai here. And just as similar for that, and we have another location here, and that is your location Kolkata. So that is for the items we have for the that egg is your 435 for the Q1, and milk is 460, bread is 20, and a biscuit is 15. Where same and case for the Q2, the egg is for the location Kolkata is your 389, and the milk is 385, bread is 45, and biscuit is 35. And for Q3, the egg is 684, and the milk is 490, bread is 39, biscuit is 48. And for the Q4, that 335 for the egg and 365, that is milk, 83 is bread, and 35 is your biscuit in the reference towards it. And for the location, the another location is Mumbai. So here for that, the items for Q1 we have egg is 390, milk is 385, bread is 20, and biscuit is 39. In the same case for the Q2, the egg is 463, and milk is 366, and bread is 25, and biscuit is 48. And then after that, for the Q4 we have here is 338, 484, 48, and 80 respectively here. And for the Delhi location, as we had written here, you can go through with that as well. And for that sake, we'll go ahead with another one, and that what we will have to discuss here in the same reference towards it. And that is the dimensional that we'll deal with. Will just make a sort of a cube of figure, and we will represent the Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4 as well. And now we'll go ahead to discuss about describe the data cubes with that suitable example that has been asked of 5 marks here. So in that same case, we'll go ahead here. And that is your data cubes with the suitable example, which is your 5 marks here. And that is that we have to discuss here. And that is the data cube that approach. We will go ahead with this. Here that the data cube approach has a few alternative names or a few variants, such as multi-dimensional database, materialized view, or OLAP, that is online, that is analytical processing as well. The general idea of the approach is to materialize the certain expensive computation that are frequently inquired here. And that is for the another one, that is for example a relation with a scheme, say like part, supplier, customer, sale price, that can be materialized into a set of 8 views that where that the PSC indicates a view that containing of aggregate function values such as your total sales, and computed by a grouping 3 attribute parts, supplier and customer, where P indicates a view consisting of corresponding aggregate function values that is computed by the grouping part and alone, etc. as well. So 8 views of the data cubes for the sale information, that what we have to discuss about it. And that the data cubes approach is an interesting technique with many application. And notice that the data cubes could be quite sparse in many cases, and because not every cell in each dimensions may have corresponding data in the database as well. And for that before we'll go ahead here, the technique that should be developed to handle the sparse cubes efficiently here, and that is in the same case for also if the query contains the constants as even the lower levels than those provided in the data cubes, and it is not clear how to make the best use of the pre-computed results stored in the data cubes as well, and where the model data in the form of the data cube. The OLAP tools are based on the multi-dimensional data model, and the data cubes usually model n-dimensional data as well. And that is before that the data cube allows data to be modeled and viewed in the multi-dimensional, and a multi-dimensional data model is typically organized in around a central theme like transaction, and that is your dimensions that are fact that defines a data cube, and facts are usually quantities which are used for analyzing the relationship between the dimension as well. Okay, so here we'll go ahead with this, and that after that for the 8 viewers of the data cube, for the each cell information has to be represented here as well. And in the same case, now we'll go ahead discuss to about what are the difference between the three main types of the data warehouse usage, which is information processing, analytical processing, and a data mining, and we'll have to discuss that in a briefly explain. So that has been asked of 10 marks as well. So here we'll go ahead. Three main types data warehouse. So here that what we have to discuss here, and the ultimate user of the data warehouse that require knowing what exists in the data warehouse and how to access the content and how to examine the content and present the data. The application areas of the data warehouse are as follows. We'll go ahead with the first one as I told you about it, and that is your the other one we have here, that is the first is your information processing. In information processing here, that it deals with the querying, statistical analysis, and reporting via tables and charts or a graph. Nowadays, the information processing of a data warehouses to construct locos west based accessing tool typically integrated with web browser. The second we have here is your that is the analytical processing. In analytical processing, it supports a various online analytical processing such as drill down, roll up, and pivoting. The historical data is being processed in both summarized and detailed format, where OLAP is performed on the data warehouse or the data marts. The primary goal of the OLAP is to support ad hoc querying needed to support DSS, and the multidimensional view of the data is the fundamental to OLAP application, where OLAP is an application view, not a data structures of the schema. The complex nature of the OLAP application requires a multidimensional view of the data. The type of the data access is often a data warehouse, an OLAP tool that can be classified as ROLAP and MOLAP here. So let's go ahead with the third one, and that what we have to discuss as well, and that is another one is data mining. So here that is in the data mining here, that it helps in discovery of the hidden patterns and the association and constructing the analytical model that is performing the classification and production and presenting the missing mining a result using the visualization tools as well, and where the data mining is the process of discovering the meaningful and new correlations, patterns and trends by shifting through the large amount of data stored in repositories using pattern recognition technique as well as statistical and mathematical technique as well. It is the process of selection, exploration, and modeling of large quantities of data to discover the regularities or the relation that are at first unknown, with the aim of obtaining the clear and a useful result for the owner of the database. It is the process of exploration and analysis by automatic or a semi-automatic means of large quantities of the data in order to discover the meaningful pattern and rules as well. Where as well we'll go ahead with another one, that is your the another one we have to discuss in the terms of the concept hierarchy, and where this in the concept hierarchy here, that organize the values of attribute or the dimensions into the gradual levels of abstraction, and it is useful in mining at multiple levels of abstraction. So there are the three tiers of architecture that even we will discuss in a detail as well, which is the data warehouse adopt the three tier architecture as I told you, and that is we have bottom tier, middle tier, and of course the top tier. That we'll go ahead with the bottom tier. It is a warehouse database server, which is a relational database system, and that is middle tier. It is an OLAP server which performs a various operation on the data warehouse, and the third is your top tier. It is a client which contains the query and reporting the tools as well. So the for the another one we'll have to discuss, that is the data mart, related to the data mart here, and that is in the terms of the data mart, if I'm talking about here, that it contains a subset of the corporate OI data that is of a value of a specific group of users, and the scope is confined to a specific selection subject as well. Let's go ahead with another one. Now we'll go ahead to discuss about the concept hierarchy, which has been asked more than 3 times in examination paper. Concept hierarchy. In the concept hierarchy here, that is your concept hierarchy is a directed acyclic graph of a concept where each of the concept is identified by a unique name and arc from the concept A to B that denotes A and is more general concept than B. We can tag the text with the concept, and each text document is tagged by a set of concepts that correspond to its content as well. The tagging a document with a concept implicitly entails it tagging that is tagging with the ancestors of the concept hierarchy, and it is therefore desired that a document should be tagged with the lowest concept possible as well. The method to automatically tag the document to the hierarchy is the top-down approach, an evaluation function that determines whether a document currently tagged to a node that can be tagged by any of its child nodes as well. In the same case, if I'm talking about with the another one, that is if so, then the tag moves that down to the hierarchy that till it that cannot be moved any further, and the outcome of the process is in the hierarchy of the document, and at each node there is a set of documents having a common concept associated with the node as well. The hierarchy of the document resulting the tagging processes is used for many text mining process as well, and it is assumed that the hierarchy of the concept is known as priori, and we can even have such a hierarchy of the document without a concept hierarchy by using any hierarchical clustering algorithm which results in such a hierarchy, like location, then you have your that is USA or India, then USA, then we have a New York, or that is that is that Illinois, or in India that is Gujarat or UP. So in New York also, that New York is New York or Buffalo, or that in Illinois that is Chicago and Auburn. In Gujarat that is Allahabad or Gandhinagar, or UP in Lucknow or Noida, that is the concept hierarchy for the dimensions location that we have. The first is the country, then provinces or states, then city, then street. That is the hierarchical structures of the dimension location here. So in this, the concept hierarchy that defines the sequences of mapping from the set of very specific low level concepts to more general and higher level concept as well. In a data warehouse, it is usually used to express the different levels of granularity of an attribute from one of the dimensions table. The concept hierarchy are crucial for the formulations of useful OLAP queries and the hierarchy that allows the user to summarize the data of the various levels as well. For example, using the location hierarchy, the user can retrieve data that summarize the sales for each individual location and for all location in a given state or even a given country without the necessity of recognizing the data as well. Let's go ahead with another one, that is to describe the OLAP operations in the multidimensional data model or explain the multidimensional data and data cube, describe the basic operation performed on the data cube, and that has been asked of 10 marks as well. So the multidimensional data and the data cube which we had discussed, even though now we'll discuss moreover related to the multidimensional that model, that the data are that organized into the multiple dimensions in which each dimension that is consisting of multiple levels of abstraction that is defined by the concept hierarchy. And this organization provides the flexibility to view the data from the different perspective as well. A number of the OLAP data cube operations are used to materialize these different views. We are consider the OLAP operations which are to be performed on multidimensional data. At the center, is a data cube for the sale of a shop, and the cube that contains the dimension, location, time and item, where the location is aggregated and respected to the city values and time is aggregated with respect to the quarters, and items is aggregated with respect to the item type as well. Where in the same case, if talking about roll up, in the roll-up operation is used to perform the aggregations on the data cube, either by climbing up a concept hierarchy for the dimensions or by dimension reduction. The result of the roll-up operation performed on the dimensions location, the hierarchy for the location is defined in the order of street, city, provinces or state, country. The roll-up operations aggregate the data that is ascending the locations hierarchy from the level of the city to the level of country as well. Where that is the another thing which we'll discuss, when roll up is performed by dimension reductions, one or more dimensions are removed from the cube. And for example, consider a sale data cube having two dimensions, location and time. Roll-up may be performed by remaining the time dimensions, that is resulting in the aggregation of the total sales by location rather than by location and by time. So now we'll talk about the roll-up. After roll-up, we'll talk about drill down. In the drill down here, that it is the reverse operation of the roll up, and the last detailed data are navigated to more detailed data, and that a drill down that can be performed by either stepping down a concept hierarchy for a dimensional or adding additional dimensions. A drill down operations that perform on the dimensions time by stepping down on a concept hierarchy which is defined as day, month, quarter, year as well, where drill down occurs by descending the time hierarchy from the level of the quarter and the more detailed level of the month as well. Because a drill down adds more detail to the given data, it can also be performed by adding a new dimensions to the cube. For example, a drill down on the central cube of that occurs by introducing an additional dimension such as customer group as well. Talking about the another one, that is just slice and dice. Slice and dice. In the slice and dice, the slice operations performed by selecting one dimensions of the cube result in a sub cube, and that a slice operation where the sales data are selected for the dimensions time using the criterion time, that is q1, and that the dice operation define a sub cube by performing a selection of one or two on two or more dimensions, and that a dice operation on the central cube on the following selection criteria that involves the three dimension, that is your location Delhi and or Mumbai or Kolkata, that is q1, so q2 the item is your egg or milk, that we had even though discussed about it. The next is your pivot, that is rotate. In this, pivot, also called rotate here, is a visualization operation that rotates the data axis in a view in order to provide an alternative presentations of the data, and that shows a pivot operation where the items and the location axis in the 2D slides are rotated as well. Now we'll go ahead to discuss about what do you mean by process architecture, or write a short note on process architecture. So in the terms of process architecture here, the process architecture defines an architecture in which the data from a data warehouse is processed by a particular computations, and following are the two fundamental process architecture is to be followed. And for that there are the two process architecture. The first is your centralized process architecture. In centralized process architecture, in this architecture, the data is collected into a single centralized storage, as and processed upon the completion by a single machine with a very large architecture in the terms of the memory, processor, and storage as well, where the centralized process architecture evolved with the transaction processing and are well suited for small organization with one location of services. It requires a minimal resource both from people and system perspectives as well. It is very useful when the collections and the consumptions of data that occurs on the same location as well. Talking about the second one, we have your distributed process architecture. The distributed process architecture, we'll have to talk about it, and that is in the terms of it here, that is in the distributed which we will discuss about it, that in this architecture the data and its processings are distributed across the data centers, and processing of the data is located with a group of the result into the centralized storage. Distributed architecture are used to overcome the limitations of the centralized process architecture, where all the data needs to be collected to one central location and results are available in one central location. There are several architecture of the different distributed process as well. So the first here in this only, we have your client server. In the client server, in this architecture, the client does all the data collections and presentation, while the server does the processing and management of the data. The second we have here is your three-tier architecture. In the three-tier architecture, with the client-server architecture, the client machine needs to be connected to a server machine, thus mandating the finite states and introducing the latencies and overhead in the terms of the data to be carried between clients and server. To increase the processing efficiency and reduce redundancy while increasing reusability, client-server architecture evolved into the three-tier system, where the client processing logic was moved to middle tier of the services, and thereby freezing the client from having to be that is tethered to the server as well. The third we have entire architecture. Entire architecture. In the entire architecture here, that the entire or a multi-tier architecture is where the client middleware application and the servers are isolated into the tiers as well. The fourth we have here is your, that is your cluster architecture. The cluster architecture, in this architecture, the machines that are connected in the network architecture, software, or a hardware to closely work together to process the data or compute requirements in parallel, and each machine in the cluster is associated with the task that is processed locally, and the result sets are collected to a master server that returns it back to the user as well. The fifth we have here is your peer-to-peer architecture. In peer-to-peer architecture, this is a type of an architecture where there are no dedicated servers and clients. Instead, all the processing responsibilities are allocated among all machines known as peers, and each machine that can perform the role of client or server or just process data as well. Now we'll go ahead with the detail, describe three-tier architecture, or draw and explain the three-tier architecture of the data warehouse model. That has been asked of 10 marks. Three-tier architecture. In the three-tier architecture, if I'm talking about the draw and explain the three-tier architecture of the data warehouse model, the same, and that has been asked of 5 marks in one examination, and the other they had asked you about 10 marks. So the data warehouses that have a three-tier architecture that has include bottom tier that it consists of the data warehouse server, which may include several specified data marts and the metadata repository. The second is the middle tier that consists of the OLAP server for the fast querying of the data warehouse. The third is a top tier that includes front-end tools for displaying the result provided by the OLAP, as well as the additional tool for the data mining of the OLAP generated data as well. The data warehousing consisting of an enterprises warehouse and the data marts. The overall data warehouses architecture where the metadata repository stores the information that defines the data warehouse object. It includes the following parameter and the information for the middle and the top tier application, where the first is that a description of the data warehouse structure including the data warehouse schemas, dimensions, hierarchies, data mart, and locations and content, etc. Operational metadata, which usually describe the currency level of the stored data, that is active, achieved, or purged, and warehouse monitoring information, that is the usage statistics, error reports, audit, etc. The system performances data, which includes the indices used to improve the data access and retrieval performances. Information about mapping from operational database, which includes the source RDBMS and their contents, and cleaning and transformation rules, etc. Summarization algorithm, predefined queries and reports, business data, which include the business terms here. And in the terms of business terms, now we'll go ahead to discuss about what is data mart and explain its role in the data warehousing. So discussing data mart. In the case of the data mart here, that data is a data warehouse which has been asked of 5 marks. So data in a data warehouse should be reasonably current but not necessarily up to the minute as well. And although the development in the data warehouse industry have made a frequent and incremental data dumps more feasible, and the data marts are smaller than the data warehouses, where and generally contain the information from a single department of the business or organization. The current trends in the data warehouse is to develop a data warehouse with the several smaller related data marts for a specific kind of queries and reports, and the various characteristics are: the first is that do not normally contain the detailed operation data, unlike the data warehouse, and may contain the content level of aggregations as well. So here they will do ahead in examples of independent data mart here. The data mart that can be star schema or relational, and that depending on how the information is to be used and what data warehousing tool will be used to present the information. And each data mart that can contain the different combinations of tables, columns, and rows from the data warehouse. ETL, that is extract, transform, load. The job is to extract data from the data warehouse and provide the information to data marts for using the group of decisions makers in the organization as well. Now for that, the relations, data marts and the data warehouses we have with the following, that we have your architectures as well. And in the same case, if I'm talking about with it, so we'll have our diagram here. Operational application, which is customer database. This is customer database. This is sale database. This is product database. So for that, this is your ETL, what I'm talking about. ETL. ETL. Okay, so these were gone to data warehouse staging area. Then this is ETL. This is data warehousing. Then of course we have ETL. These were data marts. So here this is the relationship between the smart and the data warehousing as well. So first of all, it's a huge request from my side to all the viewers, please go through with the subscribe button and please like, share and subscribe our channel, so that many and maximum people can get the information at once, and even though you can also enjoy the video as well. In the terms of the data warehousing, we had done the first unit, which is your data warehousing, and where we had covered up that in the same case, if I'm talking about data warehousing, so that we had covered up overview, definitions, data warehousing, components, building and a data warehousing warehouse database, and then mapping of the data warehousing to the microprocessor architecture, difference between the database system and a data warehouse, multi-dimensional data model, data cubes, stars, snowflakes, fast constellations, concept, hierarchy, process architecture, three-tier architecture, data mining as well, data marting as well. So the second unit, first unit we had completed. For the second unit, we'll start with the data warehousing process and technology, where we have to cover up the warehousing strategies, warehouse management and support process, that processes, warehouse planning and that implementation, hardware and operating systems for the data warehousing, client server computing model and a data warehousing, parallel processor and cluster computing system, distributed, that is DBMS implementation, warehousing software, warehouse schemas and design, data extraction, cleanup and transformation tool, warehouse metadata as well. In unit third, that is your data mining and reduction, which is your, we'll have to discuss overview, motivations, definitions and functionalities, data processing, that is a form of the data processing, data cleaning, and that is your missing values, and that is your noisy data, binding, clustering, regressions, computer and the human inspection, inconsistent data, that is data integration, transformation, data reduction, data cube aggregations and dimensionally reductions, data compressions, numerically, that is numericity reductions and discretations, and concept hierarchy generation and decision tree as well. In unit 4, we have to cover up with classification and clustering, which is classification, definition, data generalization, analytical characterizations, analysis of attribute relevance, and mining classes computer, and that is the comparison, statistical measures in the large database, statistical based algorithm, and that is distance based algorithm, decision tree based algorithm, clustering, introduction, similarity in the distance measured, hierarchical and a partitional algorithm, hierarchical clustering, cure and that is chameleon, density based method, that is DB scan and optics, grid based method, that is sting click, and model based method, that is statistical approach, association rule, introduction, large item set, basic algorithm, parallel and distributed algorithm, neural network approach as well. In unit 5 we have to cover up data visualization, which is aggregation, historical information, query facility, OLAP function and tool, OLAP services, ROLAP, MOLAP, HOLAP, and then data mining inferences, interfaces, security, backup and recovery, tuning data warehouses, that is stunning data warehouses, testing data warehouses, warehousing applications, and recent trends like types of warehousing applications, web mining, spatial mining, and a temporal mining as well. So first of all, it's a huge request from my side to all the viewers, please go through with the subscribe button and please like, share and subscribe our channel so that many and maximum people can get the information at once, and even though you can also enjoy the video as well. Thank you, hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and give a suggestion on the comment box. Thank you.